Let's make slow roast garlic. Take a full bulb of garlic and cut off the top. Place onto some foil and drizzle with a little bit of oil and a pinch of salt. Wrap up and place in the oven at 180 degrees C for 50 minutes. Now squeeze out all of that delicious sticky garlic. You can now mix that through some mayonnaise, some butter, or even just spread it on toast if that's how you like it. Enjoy your roast garlic. Break down a whole chicken. Separate the leg from the breast by cutting through the skin. Pop the thigh bone out and then cut right through. Now look for the natural seam between the drumstick and the thigh, and then we just cut straight through. Remove this bit of excess skin here. We're going to take out the wishbone. Don't worry if it breaks, just remember to make a wish. Next we'll remove the wings, cut away the backbone. Save this for stock, and now we can remove the chicken breasts. Feel along the back for the breastbone and then just make an incision alongside the breastbone and then just gradually take it down the edge of the bone. That's how I break a chicken down into 8 pieces. I hope you found this useful and you can use these tips at home. Perfect chicken breast every time. Place the chicken breast into a mixing bowl with 1 teaspoon of olive oil, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of sea salt flakes, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Give everything a good mix round with your hands until it's fully coated. Now place a pan over high heat and add in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Place it into the pan skin side down, laying it away from you. Sear for 2.5 minutes or until the skin is crisp. Turn over and place in a preheated oven at 200 degrees C for 13 minutes or until it reaches an internal temperature of 72 degrees C. Take from the pan and rest for 4 minutes before slicing. Enjoy your chicken breast. Let's make hot honey with habaneros. Pour 340 grams of runny honey into a saucepan. Protect your hands with gloves and finely chop 20 grams of habaneros or any chili of your liking. Place the chili into the cold honey. Give it a little mix. Place over a low heat. Gently warm the honey but don't allow it to boil. Leave the chili to infuse in the honey for 10 minutes over a very low heat. Pass the hot honey through a sieve and then into a sterilized jar. Leave to cool and store at room temperature. Yep, that's super spicy, really sweet, delicious. It goes with anything. You can put this over your chicken, over some salmon, maybe on some corn on the cob. Give it a go. Enjoy your hot honey. Let's make Yorkshire puddings. This recipe is done by volume, not by weight. You could use a cup, a bowl, or even a wine glass. Fill your glass or cup with plain flour. Make sure it's filled right to the top and then tip into a mixing bowl. Fill to the top with milk. Now add into the bowl with the flour. Fill to the top with eggs. Into the flour and milk and whisk until completely smooth. Cover and leave it to rest in the fridge for 1 hour, or if you'd like to make it in advance, overnight. Now take a Yorkshire pudding or a muffin tray, pour about ½ centimetre of oil into each one. Place into a preheated oven at 190 degrees C for 10 minutes. Season the mixture before cooking with a good pinch of salt and white pepper and whisk. Pour the mixture into the hot oil, leaving about ½ centimetre at the top. Place back into the oven at 190 degrees C for 50 minutes until they're crisp, golden and delicious, just like this. Enjoy your Yorkshire puddings. Let's make roast potatoes. Begin by peeling your potatoes. Now cut your potatoes to the desired size. Next, add your potatoes into a pan of cold water. Generously season with sea salt. Place over a low heat, bring to a very gentle simmer. Once it comes to a gentle simmer like this, turn the temperature right down and cook for 20 to 25 minutes until they're completely cooked through. Now gently take the potatoes from the water and place onto a cooling rack. Leave them to steam dry for 10 minutes. Place about ½ centimetre of oil into a roasting dish and place into a preheated oven at 210 degrees C for 10 minutes. Now take the potatoes and put them into the hot oil. Put them back in the oven for 35 minutes. Now take them from the oven, turn in the oil and then place them back in the oven for another 30 minutes. Place onto some kitchen paper. Finish with a sprinkle of sea salt and enjoy your roast potatoes. Sticky garlic pork skewers. 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 3 teaspoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of hot honey. Find my recipe for this in my previous videos. Half a tablespoon of rice or white wine vinegar. 3 to 4 cloves of minced garlic, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of finely chopped rosemary. Whisk. Set to one side. Dice the pork into 1-inch cubes. Place the pork into the marinade and mix until everything is coated. Cover and place in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours. Now take your skewers and share your pork amongst the skewers. Place a griddle pan over high heat. Once the pan starts smoking like this, place the skewers into the pan and don't overcrowd the pan. Just do a couple at a time. Cook for 6 to 8 minutes in total, turning every 2 minutes for a nice deep dark caramelization. Place onto a plate and rest for half the amount of time you cook them. Enjoy your to make short crust pastry. 150 grams of plain flour, 75 grams of diced unsalted butter and a pinch of salt. Rub the butter and flour between your fingers until it forms a sand-like consistency. Add in 1 egg yolk and 2 tablespoons of cold water. Mix together to form a dough. Wrap it up and store it in the fridge for up to 3 days or 1 month in the freezer. To make perfect pastry cases like this, lightly flour your work surface, take your short crust pastry and roll it out to around 2mm in thickness. Turn the pastry every so often to prevent it from sticking. Cut your pastry into rounds to fill the small tart tins. Use something to cut round like this bowl. Place the pastry over the centre of your tart mould and gradually take down the edges until you can feel the bottom. Now use your thumb or finger to push the pastry right into the corner of the tart case. Now you want to go around again, but this time pushing it right into the edges. Cut off the excess pastry using a paring knife. Prick the pastry using a fork. This prevents it from bubbling up in the oven. Rest this in the fridge for 30 minutes. Take a sheet of greaseproof paper. Cut the paper into a round big enough to cover the whole pastry case. Now place your round piece of greaseproof paper into the pastry and press it into the edge. Fill it with your baking beans or, in my case, baking rice. Place this into the oven at 170 degrees C for 20 minutes. Take out the baking beans and place back in the oven for 10 minutes. Then you'll have a perfect pastry case just like this. How to peel a hard-boiled egg. Hit down onto the worktop. Roll. And it should come off in one go, just like that.
You have to be your biggest fan, and when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that, because you don't know who you're going to